In this video today, I'm going to show you exactly how we do cold email marketing and how we can generate 3 to 6 appointments for every 100 emails sent. That's a 3 to 6% conversion rate. And these are scheduled phone calls with really high value individuals. We're talking about the C-suite, heads of departments, and the decision makers, people like founders from SaaS companies, these types of quality people. Email is the number one way to reach these types of people. It far surpasses Facebook, LinkedIn, or Google in terms of how quickly you can get appointments and how quickly you can turn those appointments into clients. There's no better way than cold email outreach if you do it properly, which is what we'll go over today. Think about it. Where do these people hang out online? They're all on LinkedIn, right? So that's great. We know that they're all on LinkedIn. These types of heads of departments, high value people, CTO, C-suite, these types of people from medium to large companies, founders, etc. They're all on LinkedIn pretty much. Are they on Facebook? Yes, 90% of people who are on LinkedIn are also on Facebook. So Facebook's a great remarketing place to go, but it's very hard to target these types of people on Facebook. But think about where are they really? They're in their inbox, and their inbox is still a sacred little bubble they have. There's so much bots spamming each other on LinkedIn at the moment that people are just becoming really cynical. It's a real problem with cold messaging on LinkedIn. There's so much cynicism on LinkedIn these days. This is partly why email is the best channel by far, from my experience and opinion, because there's still something that people respect about an email if done properly. If it's not a spam type email, if it's not an overgeneralized automated email, if you've really customized it, you'll get a really incredible response rate. So just quickly to show some results, just to show how this kind of works. I've just launched a campaign a couple of days ago. I've only sent 71 emails via woodpecker.co, which is an automating cold email tool, which I highly recommend. There's a link in the description below. So far, 55% have opened and 70% have responded, but this will go up to 65-70%, and this will be over 20% for sure on this campaign, mainly because we haven't had the follow-up yet. So this campaign is definitely going to hit some amazing targets of 70% and 20% response rate. But to show you a little bit more, just from a couple days in, these are the kind of responses I'm getting. 70 emails sent, and I've had 5 really good responses. I've had a bunch of others less amazing. But for example, this one was a response, and he wants a 15-minute conversation about what my service is, which is email marketing / LinkedIn ads, which is great. So I've got a phone call today on that. And then I've got another one responded here. And he said, again, another phone call for today, 30 minutes. Let's chat about it, which is awesome. I'm really excited about that. So again, I got 2 amazing replies, 2 amazing appointments straight from a couple of days in from 71 emails sent. And I've got another one here. Could you please explain to me the approach and the pricing structure? So I've sent him an email explaining all that. He's going to go off and think about it and maybe get an appointment with me. So straight away, 3 replies, which are extremely positive from 75 emails sent. So let's jump into step number 1, which is to build a really strong, good list of prospects. And I cannot stress the importance of doing this properly and taking the time to do this properly. This is kind of the foundations of your whole campaign. And it's the big difference between spamming and being against GDPR, which is to find a list of people who work for companies who actually may need your service. So that's super, super important. So how do you go about list building? There's numerous different places you could go, from like Crunchbase, AngelList, and LinkedIn. And I'm just going to quickly show you now one of the best, or one of the general good ways of doing it, which generally will work for most occasions. Which is, if you go to Sales Navigator, I have a tool called LinkedIn Helper, and LinkedIn Helper basically scrapes public information from your second and third contacts, or contacts which you can input into Sales Navigator. Once you have a really good list of people, like for example, I've created software, SaaS companies, 11 to 50 in the UK, co-founders, this is a really good list of people who may need LinkedIn ads, for example. So once I have this list and I've exported a bunch of information of LinkedIn Helper, the one thing that it won't give is the email address, because LinkedIn will only give you the first connection's email addresses, not your second and third. So what you have to do is take this list and take the first and second name plus company name and go to hunter.io. And there's an affiliate link at the bottom in the description. You can click on that. Hunter.io is one of the best ways to get email addresses, and you can just go to bulk and email finder and upload this CSV file, and Hunter.io will go off and find these email addresses. Step number 2 is create a curious and engaging subject line. This is the only thing really, or the main thing that's going to affect your open rates. When your email lands in someone's inbox, they're going to see the subject line and they're going to decide there and there if your email is important and whether or not it is spam or from someone they don't really want to speak to or cannot be bothered to because they've got 50 other emails to look at. So the trick with a good subject line is to keep them guessing. Don't give too much information to subject line, but it's also really important to test. We'll test 10 or more different subject lines, and the most important part is to really keep it a little bit broad. And if you're unsure, keep it broad, but you also kind of make it curious. But there's a fine line between making someone curious about what you're writing and tricking someone. If someone feels tricked when they've clicked, then there's gonna be bad blood there. So some of the ones that I've tried and works really well is you free this week, cool this week, coffee, growth. Maybe you can add a question mark. Then I've also tried like what you're selling as a title, like LinkedIn ads, or or email marketing. Have you done LinkedIn ads? Then also just try straight emojis. These sometimes work really, really well. Surprisingly, just try a straight emoji, like something relevant, maybe like a phone. Or a graph going up, or calendar, something like this. But generally, the trick is to definitely test a bunch of these. So what I would do is actually just send roughly 10 to 20 emails at a time with different subject lines, and then just see what the results are. So far, I've done only 3 subject lines, but this one is definitely the winner, and it's this one was cool this week. So that's doing really well. The other one that's doing quite well, we've had some good responses for, which is just LinkedIn ads question mark. So these two have done really, really well. So step number 3, once you've got people clicking through at a good rate, which we're talking 50 to 70% at least, this is the open rate, then we need to get them engaged in the email right away. They're going to be deciding within split seconds whether or not this email is not for them, if it's just a sales email, or what it is. So you need to go in with a customized first liner. This is really important. The first line of the email has to be, hey, name, and then the first line needs to be custom. Then you go into the body, which is the same for everyone, and a call to action, which I'll go over in a minute. But this first line, it's important to take the time to write something personal. So how I do that is, from my list, I normally have a column here which has the LinkedIn link on it, which I don't have. So what I'll do is I'll take the person, I'll click on the link, which would lead directly to LinkedIn, and it will come up with the person. So I spend roughly 3 minutes per contact doing this. This is kind of roughly what you should be doing. You shouldn't spend too long because it's going to take forever. This is probably the longest part of the whole process, but it's super important. You're going to get your best reply rates based on this. If your email is generic, your response rate is going to be really low. So this first line customization is really important. So if you think about 3 minutes per line, if you're doing 40, that's going to take you a couple of hours. So fine. If you want to hire someone, you should probably just do that. But generally speaking, they should be making it as personal as possible. The first thing I would do is look at the individual, try to find something they've done and complement that, or find something humorous, which can work as well. I find being a little bit funny or tongue-in-cheek gets nearly 100% replies all the time. And if you can't find anything like that, then the secondary thing to do would be to complement something the company has done. But definitely look at that. The first place I normally go is look at the experience, where they've gone to university. It's not the same as me. You're just trying to find anything that relates back to you. Often I will end up in the activity, and I'll go straight to articles. If they've written an article recently, which a lot of them haven't, I'll always skim through the article and write something about that. I read your article, super interesting, especially like this point. If they don't have that, go to the post. Let's have a look. Did they do anything interesting? So I'll have a look around that. So I've already done this, and I've noticed, okay, so this is a company one. This guy has congrats on reaching the Tech Track 100 list from the Sunday Times. Really great accomplishment. So, that's a company one. Or this one I got a reply for right away. Love your job title, Head of Disruptive Growth Strategy. I need to get one like that. I'm just Head of Growth, sad smiley face. This is a bit tongue in cheek. I got a reply, of course, because people just like that. There's already banter from that. In fact, this guy, led straight back in with the banter. Titles are cheap. CEO was taken, so I took this one. I would take any title to live in Lisbon, which is where I live. Happy to connect, Philip. You might be better off connected to the marketing team, but do you have 15 minutes for a phone call? So I had a phone call with him. But the first line is what draws them in. If that first line is relating to something they've actually done, they're going to be like, oh, wow, this is not a robot. This is not automated. This is a real person. And I kind of think people have a bullshit radar, and that bullshit radar will basically make sure that they notice that it's a real person. So step number 4 is to write a body which is short and sweet, but long enough to sell the benefits of what you do. So, I sell LinkedIn ads, and therefore I just wrote, hope you don't mind me reaching out to you, but I run LinkedIn ads for companies both big and small to generate lots of very high value leads, C-suite, head of departments from SME to Fortune 500 companies. So, this is like pretty much a couple lines. It's like a sentence and a bit. It's very short, and I'd recommend the shorter the better. Even we've been having great feedback from people who just like very, very short cold emails. Don't go too much. If you can write a little case study or refer to someone who is similar to the type of person they are, then I would definitely add that. Step number 5 is to have a call to action. Your call to action is basically, what do you want them to do? I need to jump on a phone call with them to talk about my service. So I asked, do you have 15 minutes to jump on a phone? And I say 15 minutes. This regularly leads to half an hour or 45-minute phone calls, but 15 minutes, because it's such a low barrier to entry, they're like, yeah, sure, why not? Let's jump on the phone for 15 minutes. Regularly, this will go over 15 minutes, and I always schedule in at least half an hour, 45 minutes, just in case. The final point, which is also important, is do not just send a calendar link, or do not just send a link to where you want them to go. Ask permission, give them the power, let them think it's their decision. This is really important. Don't just send a link and expect them to click on it. Just ask them permission. Can I send you a calendar link? That works way, way better. So I hope you found this useful, and do click on the subscribe button. This is a new channel, and I'm going to be giving you weekly tips on B2B marketing, from email marketing, LinkedIn ads, and a bunch of other things. So please click on the subscribe button.